Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank y'all so much for coming back. I do appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're new, welcome. My name is Shalise. I'm an investor, not a financial advisor, not a fiduciary. I'm an investor like you. I just happen to make YouTube videos documenting our journey. But a lot of us in this community that I have over here are all investors. I just make YouTube videos. So if you want some encouragement, some motivation, see some real numbers, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and smash notification bell. I do not have a fancy setup. I'm filming in my bedroom while the kids are kind of quiet before camp starts, because I desire to be the millionaire next door. My husband too. Not a guru, not anything like that. Just a regular person trying to achieve something, right? And leave a legacy for our children. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that you should really think about achieving and accomplishing before you turn 40. So I will be turning 40, Lord willing, in a few months. And it's just a lot of reflection have been going on. And I was talking to my husband about this the other day. Like, you're kind of like midway through your life, or at least, your professional life, and really just, taking time to reflect on your progress, the mistakes you've made, the things you've done that was right, goals you were able to achieve, just your journey, right? The path that you've taken. And I wanted to make a video sharing with you guys 5 things, in my humble opinion, that you really need to think about doing or achieving before you turn 40. Now, if you are over the age of 40, don't let that stop you. Don't let that age 40 be like a hindrance over your head. You still have time to get your financial self in order, and you could just do this along with us, and you can create your own age milestone or age goal for this. So let's get started. So the first thing that anyone should be thinking of doing before they turn 40 or by the time they turn 40 is investing for retirement. By the time you're 40, you have about, let's just say 25 to 30 years, depending on what age you plan to retire, to save for retirement. So a lot of people that I talk to think it's too late because they're 40 years old. And I'm thinking, if you retire at 65, that's 25 whole years that you have to still kind of do something with. And remember, even if it's not $1 million, if you had 500,000, could you make $500,000 work? I could if that's all I had. So again, don't let the $1 million number be a hindrance. You don't need $1 million to retire, but you don't know how much you need if you don't sit down and figure out your retirement plan. Now, I have a tracker that helps you get started with figuring out that. I'll have like a PDF on the screen. If you want it, it's a couple bucks. I made it. I have it on my website, m21finance.com. I know a lot of you have it, and a lot of you told me it has changed your thinking when it comes to how much you need, because it really forces you to think about what will life look like for you. Then you can't predict everything, but you can have some type of idea. So I do believe that you should be investing for retirement. You see the state of inflation and the economy. You see the rich getting richer. So don't just sit on the sidelines and not take part of that. And one great way to do that is just find 1 or 2 ETFs that you really like and just start dollar cost averaging into that. I have an investing challenge, a $1 a day. And many people who I talk to that says they don't have enough money to invest. And I ask them, how much did you spend on eating out in the past month? And so when they tell me that number, I say, you can afford to invest $1 a day. All right, we're talking about turning 40. We want to leave the excuses on the side unless there's a legitimate reason that you couldn't. If you are eating out, getting hair done, nails done, if you're practicing self-care, you need to think about your financial future as well. And the pick for Q3 that you all voted on, I had the polls up, is SPLG, which we own a bunch in that anyway. And I'll have an SPLG update coming soon because we reached a huge share size goal with that ETF. But again, you should definitely be investing for retirement. I think the best way to start is through your employer sponsored account. Go through your job, your HR, whoever it is, and get started with a 401k or a 403b or whatever it is that you have access to. And if you don't have access to that, Roth IRAs are great. I have a video on my beginner investing playlist. I have a couple of videos talking about 401ks and Roth IRAs, backdoor Roth. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know about that, you got to do some homework and go to my beginner investing playlist, and I talk about those types of accounts in those playlists, okay? The next thing you want to do or achieve by the time you turn 40 is open up a high yield savings account. And I say high yield savings accounts because there are regular savings accounts, but the interest that you're going to be getting on those is not a lot, like 0.04 or 0.10, when you can literally be getting between 4 and 6% interest on your money, right? Especially if you have debt, right? And you're paying credit cards, you're probably paying about between 20 and 30% in interest, right? So having your money in a high yield savings account gives you a little bit of that back. Okay, so definitely have your money in the high yield savings account. If you are not saving, again, going back to that dollar a day investing challenge, you can save $1 a day as well. So you can invest $1 a day and you can save $1 a day, and it doesn't matter how small it is. I mean, every step to me is progress, whether they're big steps or little steps. As long as you're moving, that is the important part here. We did not get to a $1.7 million net worth. We did not get to 4 properties and all of these investment accounts and paid off debt just by accident. We were very, very, very intentional, and we did not let small steps dissuade us because they weren't giant steps. Every little step, I don't care if you save a quarter a day, every step is moving in the right direction. So definitely open up a high yield savings account. I like having 2. I like having an online and a brick and mortar place. But there's tons of high yield savings accounts out there. I have a link to a website down below that will list all of the ones that pays really good interest. Okay. Next is good credit. This is very important. I know Dave Ramsey is not a fan of credit. I can tell you that you need credit to buy a car. You need credit to get a house or an apartment. I can tell you, as a landlord, my husband and I, we do check credit. Certain jobs, I know some of you are in the military, and you've told me that there are times when the military will check your credit. So again, you need to have some type of credit history, and by the age 40 you should at least have good credit. If you're working towards that, that's okay, that's good, but you want to try to have good credit, because good credit will set you up to have better interest rate. The debt that you borrow in the future will be cheaper to you because your credit score is pretty good. So again, guys, I would definitely suggest checking your credit at least once a year. I know the government gives you a free credit report every year, but you should definitely be checking your credit. I check ours. We actually have credit monitoring because of all the stuff that we have going on, but I know some of you have that too, but at least check your credit once a year. The next thing is pay off high interest debt. So I'm not talking about student loans. I'm not talking about mortgages, but you know your financial situation. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but again, we're just having a conversation. You know, if you're paying 20%, 29% in interest, that should be motivation enough to say, you know what, I want to get this paid off, because a lot of your minimum payments aren't going to the principal, it's going to the interest. And so you want to make sure, when you can, maybe you can make an extra payment in the month and have that money go directly to the principal if possible, but try to pay off that high interest debt. It's not worth it getting cash back or airline miles or credit card points or rewards, and you're paying 30% interest. Remember, the cash back, the miles, and all of that is pennies on a dollar when you do the math versus what you are paying out. Please know that Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Capital One, whoever you're doing business with, they are not just giving you cash back and rewards because they just love your business so much. They figure that's a great way to entice you to add credit so that you can get the little payouts, but they're getting a lot back in return through your minimum payments. So again, remember, pay off high interest debt and really understand how interest works. That's why I love dividend investing a lot, is because you're really getting paid in interest. We're getting paid a car payment pretty much every month in interest from these dividend stocks versus having to pay out a car payment because we don't have any car payments. And then finally, you want to create an estate plan. 40 years old, right? You start to feel it in your body, right? That, you know, we're getting older. Things aren't working the same anymore. And so it just starts the ideas of, you know what, do I have a will? Do I have a power of attorney? Do I have a living trust? What happens to the things that I've worked so hard to create and build if I died suddenly, right? One day, right? We're all going to die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So the best thing that we can do is be prepared in case something happens. You don't want your stuff to be fought over between a second cousin and a distant aunt because you didn't have anything in writing. I've been to too many funerals where there was no will at least in place, and people are fighting over small little things. So you want to make sure that you have at least a will by the time you're 40. We can work on trust and all that later, but at least have a will. And please know that just because you have an estate plan in place does not guarantee that something is going to happen to you. I mean, no, that's just being wise and responsible with your finances. Okay, so those are 5 things that, in my humble opinion, you want to make sure that you have achieved by the time you turn 40. This is going to set you up for the second half of your life where you may, maybe you'll get laid off, maybe you'll have a health issue, maybe you just are ready to retire and quit. Having these things in place will help you a lot to not only move forward, but to sustain your standard of living. So let me know down below which one of the things that I talked about today resonated with you the most. Investing for retirement, opening up a high yield savings account, having good credit, paying off high interest debt, or creating an estate plan. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Smash the notification bell so that you don't miss upload every time I post a video. And until next time, you already know, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.